Black Market Voices assisted in producing the show for no monetary gain with permission as a transformative work. All rights remain with their respective creators, and all effects were obtained legally. Please support the parent media and the original work. Cloud City by SSJTrinity. Read by Charliegolightly. Chapter 9. So here they are, again, in a jail cell. On a board 4-bed, confined. Here they are again, except everything has changed. Everything with Parker changed, twice over, given what just happened, and that guy can go to hell. Everything with Hasta changed, badly, because Hasta knows who, and knew all along, and never said. Everything with Asnath changed, and that one tastes of regret, because if Arthur hadn't been so prickly, they could have at least seen where it would go. Arthur knows he's dying. The gods picked him, and he's a lousy horse in this race. His vision is going. Some horrifying rot god is coming. He's in jail. He has an etheric resonance no one can use. And Hasta knows who, and knew all along, and never said. "You fuck," Arthur says quietly, again, not recognizing his own voice. "How could you do this to me?" Hasta sighs.
You can be so smart sometimes. And others, it's like you're holding your intelligence underwater to drown it.
"I asked you a question, you son of a bitch," Arthur said low, and wiped his eyes. "What the fuck did I ever do to you, that you'd do this to me?"
I didn't do it to you, Arthur.
"You did. You know what I need."
I know that if I had given you the name and triggered my contract, I'd be obligated to harvest you, and then I'd lose my eyes in this world.
Arthur resists that logic and stares at the ceiling. "You know this means everything to me. You know that."
And if I'd fulfilled the contract,
Hasta says, sounding very, very patient,
I would be gone, and no one would know what the Defiler was doing, and the world would be fucked.
"Fuck it anyway." Arthur wipes his eyes again. The damn things won't stop leaking.
You don't mean that.
It's about as gentle as Hasta gets, that tone. "Right," Arthur says. "Sure. So tell me this, then. How are we going to get revenge on my daughter's killer when I'm fucking dying and locked away, and you don't even seem too fucking concerned about any of it?"
2 reasons. 1, because Asenath is going to get us out.
"You know that."
I do.
"Why?"
She wants us to win.
Arthur swallows. "Did Asenath murder my daughter?"
No, Arthur. Why would you ask that?
"Because it has to be someone in my life. Did Parker murder my daughter?"
No, Arthur. And it doesn't have to be someone in your life.
"It does. Because you know who they were before you agreed to a contract, so I already knew them. And you could already tell whoever the fuck they were is my daughter's murderer in the police station." Hasta sighs.
Yes.
He hadn't expected that. What? What?
They're here.
Who?
Arthur, if I tell you and you confront them, you may not survive the encounter. Worse, if I tell you the contract is triggered, and I will have to harvest you.
"Maybe I want to be harvested. How about that?" Arthur lies at the top of his lungs. "How about that?"
No, you don't.
Hasta's tone can go even gentler now, it seems, and it is beyond infuriating, because it makes Arthur feel like a fussing child.
You don't want to die anymore. Oddly enough, I believe you're angry with me about that too.
So what if I am? Arthur shouts.
I understand your anger. I will not try to steer you from it. But might I suggest not yelling everything as though I stood upon a mountain peak some distance from yours?
I will yell if I want to yell for as long...
Even if it means alerting the murderer.
What the fuck does that mean? Alerting the murderer? To what? They're already here.
Yes, but they don't know about you. They don't know who you are. How you're connected to that innocent little girl. If you keep this up, they could find out. There are records. There are people to ask just what your deal is. You're making a scene, which creates curiosity.
Arthur rolls over to face the wall, curls his arm, and presses his face against it. So now only his left eye is free, and he can see nothing. Hastur is right. He knows Hastur is right. That doesn't make it better. Quietly, he begins to cry. You knew,
Arthur,
said Hastur softly.
I'm sorry things have gone this way. This isn't how I would have chosen to do it. Much of this was outside my control. A servant of the King in Yellow doesn't give orders. They take them, and there was much I did not know.
Arthur laughs wetly. That's not my experience.
What?
If there's one thing you do all the fucking time, Hastur, it's give orders. Bet your master just loves that.
Well, I suppose I can be imperious.
You're a bossy little bitch is what you are, Arthur says, sniffling. But he's smiling now. He wipes his face. I don't know if I can do this. It's too much for me. I mean, I know I'm good at climbing over things that are too much, but this one might be too much for me. There is a pause.
Arthur, do you believe me to be self-sacrificial?
Well, that one's easy. Arthur snorts. No.
Then believe me when I say I have set things in motion to ensure that justice is done. I have no intention of dying, thanks to a failed contract. No, I will not tell you what those things are. I will not tell you how, either. Except to remind you that I have had to take control of your body 3 times while you were unconscious.
It just figures Hastur was dicking around while Arthur was at his most helpless. Are you telling me the truth?
I am. I don't know how to convince you, but I am. I have no reason to lie about this. My own survival is tied to it.
So, Arthur says softly, so even if I die doing this, that motherfucker gets what's coming to them.
That is correct. You are...
The left hand rises and touches his mouth, a surprisingly tender movement that Arthur has no idea how to interpret.
Stubborn. Willful.
Those are the same thing, says Arthur.
They are not. One insists on going its own way, regardless of reason or proof. The other turns from suggestions merely to be contrary.
You're contrary.
As I said.
Arthur rolls his eyes, but manages a small smile.
I took steps. My contract will be fulfilled. Your daughter's killer will be brought to justice.
Even if I don't get to see it.
How else could I ensure I would live, with you running into firefights and leaping down wells?
I only jumped down a well once.
It was still rather startling.
Arthur laughs wetly and wipes his face again. Okay, Hastur. I get it. On some level. But on another, I hate you for this. You get that, right?
Because you feel I lied to you.
No, because I feel you used me. Used my daughter. But I forgive you for the rest.
Then hush. Get some rest if you can. She'll be here when she can.
Arthur's left hand is stroking his hair. It really feels like someone else. Like he isn't actually alone in this cell. And that It is so weird. It is so comforting. He hates that it's comforting. I'm still mad at you, he mumbles.
I know.
Hester says. Thank you.
For?
Making sure about that guy.
Justice will be served.
Yeah. I feel like I can rest because of that. And it is true. Arthur believes him. Whatever else Hester may be, he is self-serving, not self-sacrificing. If Hester says he's ensured the contract will be fulfilled, even if Arthur dies, then it will be fulfilled. Arthur doesn't want to ask how. He wants to imagine scenarios, magical traps, torment brought from beyond outer darkness to here. He hopes the King in Yellow gave Hester such tools as to make it hurt. He falls asleep, and Hester continues to pet his hair all the way into the dark. Psst, says Asenath in his ear, her hand over his mouth. He jumps pretty badly. Had his left arm been in his control, he might have elbowed her in the face. But it is not, and she knows it is not. And she looks absolutely puckish as he turns around. Her hand is gently scented with some kind of flower Arthur can't name, and the part of his brain that makes connections wonders if that scent is everywhere else. Careful there, she whispers, finally releasing him. You're a lot of things, but quiet isn't one of them. I am so, he whispers back, and rolls over to full face her. She's very close. His eye is not great. It's cloudy, shadowed. He's pretty sure it isn't actually that dark in here. He swallows. Are we getting out? You are, Asenath whispers. Guard comes by to check on you every damn hour. Next check is in a few minutes. There's gotta be a body in the cell. He stares. They could hurt you if they find out what you did. She shrugs. They can do whatever they want. I'll defend myself with prejudice. I don't envy them in that case, he whispers, and then recalls her smile from earlier. He recalls her resignation. You're not done, are you? He whispers, leaning even closer. Done? It might be lavender. He's never smelled lavender, but the word feels right. Don't pretend you don't know what I mean. No, she says, relenting a little. I'm not done. I'd like this to be over so I can go back to teaching Gertrude how to read Cyrillic. I'd like you to win. Earth's not perfect, Arthur Lester, but it's pretty nice, and I'm not ready to give it up yet. It's a nice speech. He hopes it's the truth as he sits up. What do we do? She holds up his bag. We are both really lucky you left this in the room when you stormed out. They never found it. Oh, gods, said Arthur, who'd completely forgotten. What would they have done with it? I doubt your tools would be anywhere near this place anymore. So you really think someone who wants the Defiler here is... here? I know they are. There were bad protections on your cell, boss. Someone with a lot of power is here, right now, hiding right under my damn nose. And it took me a hot minute to get that door open. You? Me. Like I said, even I can't do much against the specific amount of power they've gathered. And they're channeling on top of that. The Defiler's empowering them already. Yes. Same as the King in Yellow's been trying to work down here, too. The King in Yellow drives people crazy, Arthur says quietly. And the Defiler drives people to murder, rape, destroy. It's not the same. And it's not that surprising that exposure to something as inconceivable as a great old one can break a human mind. We're teeny, Arthur Lester. The thing to remember is madness doesn't necessarily mean wickedness. It just sort of frees whatever's already inside you. Are you defending the King in Yellow? Arthur says. She shrugs. I'm playing politics.
Huh.
Arthur had forgotten he was there. So much cocksucking the last few days, I swear, Arthur mutters at them both. A wise woman picks her battles, says Asenath primly. And they are so close, they could kiss. But she doesn't. She doesn't grab. She doesn't push. Arthur swallows. When do I go? 7.5 minutes, she says. An oddly specific number that generates more questions than it answers. You sure you're going to stay? What if they just lean in and shoot you? Why, Arthur Lester, says Asenath with a slow smile. Are you concerned for my safety? Of course I am, he hisses. What kind of question is that? Her smile is like it was before. Sad, knowing, fond, resigned. A few hours ago, darling, you hated my guts. No, I thought you hated me. I thought everyone hated me. She tilts her head. Why? Because I hate me. He's not looking at her now. Never mind. I don't know what I'm saying. She put her hand over his. It sounds to me like you're saying some painful things. Maybe, he sighs. Hey, she grins. It's not all bad. You're gonna get closure. You know how rare that is? How rare, he says. And they're close. But he doesn't turn his face away, and he smiles just a little. I see it maybe once every couple of lifetimes, often less. She hasn't taken her hand away either. Her skin is warmer than his, and that maybe lavender scent seems to gentle the air of the jail. I'm glad you're getting it. You deserve it. She finally takes her hand back. He misses the touch and reacts. Sorry, we never... He starts to say. Shh. She pats his cheek once. No regrets. They do no good. Listen, when the guard is gone, I'm going to let you out. Go left. Not right, though that's toward the exit. Something awful is happening here, Arthur Lester. You need to get out through the back. Find a window. Do not get caught. Wasn't planning on it. He wants to touch her. He does not. She's right. No regrets. And this is good right now. Fucking it up with could have been is only going to distract them both. Thank you. Succeed, then thank me. Or, well, you can pass the thanks on to Haster. He'll get them to me, no matter where I am at the end of this. Arthur isn't sure if that's a joke, but it strikes him incredibly, morbidly funny, and he starts snickering. Sure, he'll see to my posthumous wishes. Asshole owes you that much. You know what? He does owe me that much. You hear that, Haster? I want fucking roses on my grave. None of that cheap carnation shit. Real red roses, you hear?
Sure.
And that sets Arthur off again, and the last minute in the cell is spent leaning against Asenath, both of them snickering silently. And he is on the edge of tears, but doesn't cross into them. No matter what, he's going to die. But it's somehow okay. It's okay. It's time, Asenath whispers, wiping her eyes. Thank you. She winks. Then Asenath does magic. She holds out her hands to either side, bent at the elbows, looking up. Her eyes go solid black, as if filling with some unknown liquid. She feels so foreign to him, this pose like something on one of those Egyptian statues they have at the museum. The jail cell thrums. It almost hurts, and Arthur inhales through his teeth. And here comes Dawes, just one of the coppers, nose still pleasingly fucked up from Arthur's earlier attempt to escape, peering through the bars, studying Arthur, his eyes shadowed. Arthur sits on his little board bed. Asenath kneels in front of him, eyes gone completely black, wearing a warm and satisfied smile, her arms still out and up, as though she's welcoming the sun. Whatever Dawes sees isn't any of this, and he just nods to himself and goes back the other way. Arthur releases the breath he was holding. She waits until the door closes out there to stop, her eyes shifting back to Brown, Her arms lowering, she hands him his bag. Her smile is wicked. Give him hell. Be safe, he whispers, and tries the cell door. It opens.
Are you ready?
Everybody dies, Hester, Arthur whispers, slipping through. I'm just lucky enough to have made my peace with it first.
Lucky. Indeed you are.
Why Hester purred that is beyond him, but it doesn't matter now. Shoes in his hand, so he's quiet as possible. Arthur sneaks left down the hall, hoping to meet no one he'll have to kill.